Hello students, my name is K. Mohammed Basha. I am dealing a science subject in SPVB High School, MULAKALACHERUVU. In this video, we are discussing about 6th class general science, chapter number 5, materials and things. So students, we discussed about materials and things, and what are the differences between materials and things in this chapter. The students observe the picture. Mary was sitting in her room and studying. Suddenly, she heard a loud sound from the kitchen. Mary went to the kitchen and saw a cat running away. Here Mary saw that many objects had fallen on the floor. Some of them were broken and some of were not broken. Here which might have broken and which might have not broken of the materials to fill in the table. In this picture, Mary was observed some breakable materials and some does not breakable materials. Here, objects that would have broken, that is cup, glass, earthen pots, mirror, plastic chair, etc. Objects that would not have broken: stainless steel glass, plate, iron chair, door, cylinder, cooking vessel, etc. So these materials does not broke and some materials are broken. So next one, finding the materials used to make different objects. Here they are giving some materials and giving the object in the table. A list of things in a house are given in a table. So name the materials from which each object may possible to be made. So which materials are used to prepare by the object. Here first object, door. The materials used: wood, metal, rubber, paint. And towel, cotton thread. Bicycle, iron, plastic fiber, paint. Knife, steel, wooden handle. Mirror, glass, plastic frame, paint. Shoe, leather or synthetic material. Pot, clay soil. Water bottles, plastic fiber, and color paints. So these are the materials to be required to made by a object. The next one, finding the objects made from the different materials. So students, here observe the pictures. In the first picture, there are 3 chairs. One is wooden chair, another one is plastic chair, another one is iron chair. Here which material to made from different objects or things. So in the table, the metal material used to prepare or made from the materials: utensils, tools, cupboards, chairs, etc. And plastics also made by bag, jar, chair, boxes, dolls, like. Glass material made up of the things is mirror, windows, kitchen items, spectrals. And wooden, table, chair, windows, doors, pots. These are also made by the material of wood. Some other materials are giving in the table, and made up of things also giving in the table. Please note down this table in your notebook. And next topic, properties of materials. So there are two types of properties of the materials, that is transparent and opaque. Transparent property and opaque property. So what is meant by transparent and what is meant by opaque properties? Here I are discussing about the transparent materials. So we know all the glass materials we can easily see through the glass. So such materials are said to be transparent materials. And we cannot see through some materials like wood, steel, cardboard. These materials are said to be opaque materials. So the general definition of transparent and opaque materials, which materials to see easily, that materials to be called transparent materials, which cannot see the materials, such materials are called opaque materials. And here identify the transparent and opaque objects in the table. Here giving there are 6 objects. Which one is transparent, which one is opaque? Here glass jar is transparent, steel glass is opaque, and etc. etc. we are giving in table. You must learn this table. So next one, are able to see through a paper. This is a small activity. Take a sheet of white paper and try to see lighted bulb through it. Record your observation. So now put a few drops of oil on that sheet and again try to see the bulb through it. So what do you notice? So what is the difference do you notice in the two conditions? So without oil, with oil on the paper, we observe some changes. So you notice that in the first case, without pour the oil, you can't see the bulb. In the second case, are able to see the bulb. The materials through which we can see objects but not very clearly are said to be translucent materials. Here oily paper is an example of a translucent substance. So some glass panes fixed to window allow sunlight to come through, but you can't see clearly through them. So such type of glass materials is called translucent glass. So this is the example to prove the translucent substances. Next one, state of the materials. How many states of the materials in the chapter? In this chapter, the rain chapter, you have studied about the relationship between ice, water and water vapors. There are 3 states of water. So you would have noticed that when ice is added to a glass of lemon juice, the ice begins to melt, and after some time all of it becomes water, and the outer surface of the glass becomes wet. If we heat the water in a vessel, we notice that after some time water vapors is produced. If heating is continued more and more, vapors is produced in the form of steam. And some materials changes their state from solid to liquid, liquid to gas on being heated, and from gas to liquid, liquids to gas on being cooled. So that materials as solids liquids and gases based on their state of normal temperature. Here in this topic we know that three states of matter, that is solid state, liquid state and gaseous state. And next one, this is the one of the activity, light a candle. So everyone to see the candle, and how to light the candle, you know that you might have it candle with a matchstick many times, holding the burning matchstick to touch the wick of the candle. Wick means smoke, until the wick catches fire. The students observe the pictures. In the first case, the picture the candle lights and wick of the candle, they give some smoke, that is wick. Burning a matchstick nearby the wick, it always candle lighted. So place a candle in a safe place and light it. The first candle cannot be lit without touching the wick with the burning matchstick. So let the candle burn for some time. After 2 minutes, hold a burning matchstick one hand and blow the candle. So now quickly bring the burning matchstick close to the smoke. We do not touch the wick. So we observe that the material changes their shape according to the shape of containers. So those materials which change shape are mainly liquids such as water, rasam, milk, oil, kerosene, etc. So those materials which do not change the shape are solids such as wood, rock, brick, plastic objects and vegetables. So in this activity we know that wick also always burning the candle, do not touch. So next one, classification of materials. Here we are dividing the materials in three types, that are solids, liquids and gases. In the table they are giving separately solid materials, liquid materials and gaseous materials. Solid materials like stone, liquid material like milk, gaseous material like smoke. So some of the other materials to collect and write it in your notebook in this continuing the table. Next one, sinking or floating in water. Sinking and floating. Here we take some materials like tomato, brinjal, potato, iron nail, sponge, wood, stone, leaf, piece of chalk and paper. So record the observations, which one is sink or which one is float in water. So in the production, sink materials are iron nails, wood, stone, a piece of chalk. Float materials are tomato, brinjal, potato, sponge, leaf, paper. So some other objects are given in the second table. The prediction should be given also here, which one is a float and which one is a sinks. And here finding the column will be given in. Here the first object is tomato, the prediction is floats on the water surface. So like this, all the objects are sink and floats are given the finding predictions. So which one is sink, which one is floats, the materials you must observe in your kitchen and at your home. So next one, soluble or insoluble in water. Soluble means the substances containing some water. Insolubles means does not dissolving in the water. So take 5 beakers with water. Take small quantity of sugar, salt, chalk powder, sand and sawdust. Add each materials to separate the beakers and stir it. Observe the changes and record your observations in the given table. Here we observe that certain materials dissolve when mixed with water. That materials is said to be soluble materials. Which materials does not dissolve in water is said to be insoluble materials. Here we are giving the some materials. Sugar, it dissolves in water, so it is a soluble. And sand, it does not dissolve the water, it is insoluble water, insoluble substance. So repeat this activity with different liquids like vinegar, lemon juice, coconut oil and kerosene. So take some more materials to add. Observe which are dissolved and which are does not dissolve, which is soluble materials, which is not insoluble solutions. And next one, this is the summary of the lesson. In the lesson, we learned some basic topics, and here I am giving some important note points. So objects around are made up of a large variety of materials. So based on their properties, we use different materials for different purposes. So some materials such as glass are transparent. Some materials such as wood are opaque materials. So oily paper are also translucent materials. So materials can exist in 3 important states. This is very important. The materials can exist in 3 important states, that is solids, liquids and gases. So some materials sinks in water, some materials can float on the water, and some materials are soluble, that is dissolve completely in water. Some materials are insoluble, that does not dissolve in water. So materials are grouped together on the basis of similarities and differences on their properties. And next one, these are the important questions in this lesson. The first question gives 2 marks question for FA and SA examinations. Second question also give you 2 marks questions, and third question gives 4 marks questions. Just you write solubility of materials which has dissolved completely in water, and please note down these all questions in your notebook. And next, some more questions are giving here. These are 2 marks and 4 marks questions. They are giving a small answers, and small questions are giving. So these all questions are very important to very useful for writing essay and FA examinations. So this chapter is very important for examinations. This is very useful to our daily life, which have transparent materials, which has opaque materials, which materials are sink and floats, which materials are soluble and which materials are insolubles to be finding. We learn this chapter. I hope to understand this class. Next class we will discussing about another chapter. Thank you very much.